Growth operators, if you're working with a creator with 10,000 followers or less on Instagram, that's completely okay. We just worked, me and my partner, with a creator with about 12,000 followers on Instagram, hasn't posted on YouTube for about 5 or 6 months, and has not posted on TikTok either. Most people would think that this creator is not qualified to sell an offer and to scale to 20, 30K months, right? And within this first 7-day gap, we're doing about $10,000 with this creator. And a lot of people think that with a creator like this, you want to start off doing, a low ticket offer. But what do you think is easier? Getting, 15 people on $100 per month, or 30 people on $75 a month, or one person for $1,500, right? And another thing that makes $1,500 a lot easier is financing. If you want to use, like a payment processor like Fanbase, that's, extremely important to be able to get people to use financing, right? Makes the sale a lot easier. But let's talk about the offer, how to structure it, the launch, and how to close, right? So first of all, if you're working with a smaller creator, again, do not launch a low ticket offer. There's really only two options that you have here, and it's either a one-time purchase of like a mid-ticket course, right? Which is okay, but a little bit outdated. Honestly, what you want to do is find their highest paying clients and work with them one-on-one for 8 to 12 weeks. So put together a package, 60 to 90 days, something like that, where you're charging anywhere from $1,500 to $5,000, right? And it depends what niche they're in, how qualified their customers are. But even if they're in, the fitness space and have a decent following, 5, 10, 15,000 followers, and they're on a couple different platforms, maybe they can do better on separate platforms, but at least they're on Instagram. That's the most important one, because that's where you can get in contact with customers through DMs. You can't do that through TikTok and YouTube. So if they're on Instagram and have a good following, their structure for their offer needs to be one-on-one mentorship, and it needs to be a high ticket offer. And most of the time, you're going to need to offer financing where people can pay in 12 different payments. But whenever you do that through something where you have to control and you have to reach out and basically reclose them, that's not very good. So if you use something like Fanbase, where you can get financing and you get paid in full up front. So if you put a client for, one of your coaches, they sign a client and they're doing a one-on-one mentorship for $1,500. Someone can split those payments into $150 per month with $0 up front. So it's a much easier close whenever you walk them through financing as well. And in that 60 to 90 days, work one-on-one with this coach and try to get them the best results possible. That's what they need to be offering, and that's what you need to be selling as a growth operator on these calls. Because if you're the growth operator, honestly, you should be taking the appointment setting and closing calls for your coaches, especially if you're only working with one or two and they're not that big. You need to be doing the sales yourself. You don't need to hire out closers and have them paid 10, 15% for a mediocre job. You need to be in the trenches with your coaches, and you need to be getting good at sales so that you can sell other coaches on your ability, but also you need to be generating these results for your coaches directly, right? And you need to be doing as much as possible, showing that you're valuable for a long-term relationship with this coach. If you're not closing deals yourself and you don't have 5 or even more clients as a growth operator, then it really just does not make sense, right? So get in the trenches, close the deals. And once you have this offer put together with this coach, it doesn't have to be that hard. You don't have to go and create this insane landing page with the VSL, with, a free lead magnet to acquire a bunch of leads. Literally what you can do to test their audience out in the first place. And honestly, for the first 30 days, this is all you have to do for your coach as their offer and their marketing, right? Because At this point, if they've never offered anything and they're a smaller creator, or they've only ever done like some low ticket offers or kind of just played around with a couple different things, but never like offered something real, all you need to do is have them on an Instagram post schedule, right? Where they're posting every couple days on their story, asking what their audience wants to see from them, do some polls where people can vote, like, do you want to learn how to, if they're in fitness, it's like, do you want to learn how to bulk, cut? Do you want to work with me one-on-one to grow your social media? If they have a brand or something, or do you want to learn how to work with other fitness creators and collab, or getting deals with, people like Bucked Up or whatever, you know what I mean? You can teach so many different things no matter what niche you're in. Fitness is one of the hardest niches. And I mean, there's still like 5 or 10 different things that you can offer to your audience with your creator, right? So first of all, run some polls on their story, figure out what people want, and then have them post a story 3 times a week and drop a couple posts with a call to action in the caption where it's, like DM me this word if you're interested in this, and make them direct traffic to their DMs for mentorship. And people will reach out if they have any hope at making money online. Now, there are some creators who have 100,000 plus followers. I've seen somebody with 250 something thousand followers make $0. They tried to drop a low ticket for $19 and got 0 sales with 250,000 followers. And it's because it depends on what type of content you're making. Don't work with creators. And if you're a creator, don't make content that you're not talking in. Like, you need to get in front of the camera and you need to provide value. If you're sitting here and you're just standing in front of the camera trying to mug people, or like, doing whatever people do on TikTok. I don't have TikTok, but you just have a caption over the screen and it's like a quote. Dude, people are not going to buy from you. Like, you may get followers, but what's the point of getting followers if you're not making a bag? Like, it literally does not make sense to me. Personally, always after the bag. If you're going to get followers, you might as well have them be your ideal customer for whenever you drop a product. It only makes sense, right? So again, nurture the audience, see what they want, then drop stories and post. And you don't need to go build out a landing page the first 30 days. Simply direct traffic to their DMs and figure out if that partnership is even worth your time. Because I know if you're trying to get your first client and you're only working with 1 or 2, and it's like, yeah, well, he's not really getting any traction, but I think if we build out all these landing pages and invest in really good systems and funnels and run ads, then maybe we can get them to like 10K a month. Like, bro, that's a waste of time. After everything goes by, like, you're barely going to be making any money. You know what I mean? So, and that's a ton of work to build out all these different systems. So the first month you're working with the creator, test their audience, see what their audience wants, and see if their audience has buyers, because that's all that matters. And do not drop a low ticket product. Please do not drop a low ticket product for a creator that is not massive, who already has a high ticket product and has a ton of unqualified leads. That's the only way you're dropping low ticket with these creators. Is now you're working with these creators, it's been 3-4 months. Say they have, 500 leads that reached out for the mentorship that didn't qualify or didn't end up buying. Now, you track them on a CRM and you drop like an offer through like emails, or start posting on your story or on their page that they're dropping a low ticket community now for people that weren't able to do the mentorship. That makes a lot more sense. Do not start with that, please. I see so many people that are growth operators that say they know what they're doing, but then they start with a low ticket product and it pisses me off because they're not good. I've tried them personally years ago, a ton of different types of low ticket products with like self-development and e-commerce, and even my mid ticket that I dropped completely dominated the low ticket, right? And e-commerce was one of the best niches to drop a low ticket in. And it still was completely crushed by like a mid-ticket course, right? And not to mention, a high-ticket mentorship. Completely blew it out of the water. Do not drop low-ticket products. If you're a coach or if you're a growth operator, do not lead them down that road until they have so many unqualified leads that it's like a guaranteed 10K a month to run the low ticket group, or however you're going to structure it, right? Like a bunch of information, 2 weekly calls. You don't want to do that for $500 a month. Because if you get a creator and you drop their low ticket community, that's about what you're going to be making. You're going to get 10 people at $50 a month, and you're going to be having to have them host calls and build out content. You're going to have to structure out your school or WAP or whatever you're using, all to split up 30% of $500 a month. Like, I promise you, you don't want to go down that road. High ticket offer, keep it simple for the first month, see that they have buying customers, direct to their DMs, have them book calls themselves. This depends how big the creator is. Now, if you're working with somebody with 100 to 200,000 followers and they're, in a really good niche like e-com, then yeah, you got to make at least a funnel and CRM to track these leads so that you can reach out to them and call them. You can't have the coach appointment set, like all these different calls or whatever. But if you're working with someone with 10,000 followers and they post a story and they're getting from 3 to 5 leads, in a story post or an actual post, you don't need an entire process and system and landing pages for these people to sign up for, free lead magnets and stuff. All you need to do, DM me if you're interested in the mentorship. Drop that in a couple different ways, a few times a week, and they're gonna get 3 to 5 leads. And they're gonna have to, DM them, hey, why are you interested? What are you expecting from me? Are you interested in a call with me and my team? And then you as the growth operator, you as the coach, never get on calls with people that are reaching out to you. There will be times where you should get on calls to close, but you're going to feel that out and you're going to realize that whenever the situation comes along. But as a growth operator, you need to be getting on these calls to gas up your coach and sell them. You're going to be able to say things about the coach that is going to make them sound like, a absolute monster in their industry that the coach could simply not say without sounding like a dickhead. So get on the sales calls, gas up your coaches, close deals, put them on financing on Fanbase. And, if I wasn't going to do this, but if you want to use Fanbase, I'll drop a link in the description. It's honestly been a game changer to use. Their financing is unreal for closing deals. I can assure you financing goes a long way. It could be the difference between a 10 and a 25K month. That's how big of a difference it is, especially for these small creators. So definitely figure out a way to do financing. Don't overcomplicate it and don't overcommit to creators. I'm not saying slack off. You want to work your ass off. You want to close every deal possible. But in the first month, it does not have to. You can get their warmest leads to reach out. Just story posts, normal posts. They DM the creator. The creator gets their phone number and you call them personally. And you can text them, set up a time, have the coach set up a time. You call them. It's not that hard. And then once you close them on the call, boom, you have the coach fulfill their mentorship. You don't even have to worry about that because that's all up to the coach. Just have them through a 60 to 90 day program. It is really that simple. Now, when the creators get bigger and you get better, you're deeper into your deals, it gets to month 2 through 5, now you're gonna have to start implementing systems and really getting everything out of the audience possible, as many leads as possible. Because if you're a growth operator or coach, you know that when you drop your product, usually month 1 is pretty explosive and pretty easy. But if you're not taking advantage as a growth operator and coach, telling your coach to be on every single social media platform, especially making long form content on YouTube, because that has the highest ROI per viewer, per subscriber. They need to be on YouTube, right? But as I said, this creator over 10K in a week, and he's not even posting on YouTube yet. So it's 100% possible with a bunch of different variations of creators. Don't overcomplicate it. Take the sales calls yourself, get good at sales, right? Be personable. And you don't need these crazy landing pages to start. Now, if you sign a big creator somehow as your first creator that's got 150K followers and a really good low ticket group or something where they have like 500 people on a monthly subscription, then yeah, you should probably drop you should probably drop a lead magnet, or like, you need a CRM to track those leads so that you can call every single one of them and not let a single one slip through the cracks. Working with small creator, bro, keep it simple, story post, get them up, lock in, get on calls yourself, close deals, provide value to these coaches, and make money. It's that simple.